Ladies and gentlemen of excellent family, introduced under the most respectable conditions in an atmosphere of elegance and refinement. Object, matrimony. Unfortunately, I won't be able to offer my usual lightning service today, as I have a previous appointment in Yonkers, New York, arranging the second marriage for Mr. Horace Vandegelder. The well-known half-a-millionaire. As my late husband Ephraim Levi always said, that means he's got at least $60,000 in cash. But I'll do my best to have you carried across somebody's threshold before the week is out. I might also mention that I'm available for financial consultation, instruction on guitar and mandolin, short distance hauling, and varicose veins reduced.
Come on, Dolly. She's the one who slips like a Henderson.
I'm something of an artist myself, you know. I do all those silhouettes with black paper and scissors. Here's one of Ada Rehan. Looking the other way, I have to do them like that because I'm no good at noses.
Mrs. Levi, the train for Yonkers leaves in 5 minutes. And if we don't get there on time...
But we will, Mr. Kemper. And not only will Horace Vandegelder give you permission to marry his niece, Ermengarde, he will also dance at your wedding. And not alone either. I happen to be engaged in finding him a second suitable wife himself. What he really wants is someone steady to clean the house. As my late husband, Ephraim Levi, always said, marriage is a bribe to make a housekeeper think she's a householder.
I know all about it, Mrs. Levi. Half New York says he's going to propose to Mrs. Irene Malloy this very afternoon.
Which is exactly why I'm on my way to Yonkers this morning, Mr. Kemper, and can take on your case and knock off 4 lovebirds with 1 stone, or whatever I'll throw. I'll see. And well, what do you think of that? I have nothing here to pay for my train fare with. Only large bills, 5s and 7s.
I have some change here somewhere, Mrs. Levi. I only hope this isn't a wild goose chase.
And speaking of poultry, I'm also available for fresh Jersey eggs, surgical corsets reboned, ears pierced, pierced ears replugged.
Mrs. Levi!
This ain't the kind of man you'll see, sir. Once it's just national. Don't forget to bring your man, and that's what you'll not, you know. Come on, Dolly.
Tell me, Mrs. Levi, what's in all this for you?
A living, Mr. Kemper. Some people paint, some sew. I meddle. I have always been a woman who arranges things for the pleasure and the profit it derives. I have always been a woman who arranges things like furniture and daffodils and lives. When a man with a timid tongue meets a girl with a diffident air, why should the tortured creatures beat around the bush when heaven knows Mother Nature always needs a little push? So I put my hand in here, I put my hand in there. And a girl over 6'3" loves a man who comes up to her ear. Surely it's obvious she'll never be seduced till some kind soul condescends to give her bow a little boost. So I put my hand in there, I put my hand in here. I have always been a woman who arranges things. It's my duty to assist the Lord above. I have always been a woman who arranges things like luncheon parties, poker games, and love. My aplomb at cosmetic art turned a frump to a trump lady fair. She had a countenance a little bit like Scrooge, but oh, today you would swear the Lord himself applied the rouge. I put my hand in here. Oh, she can do that. Twist a little, stir a little, hem a little, curve a little, shape a little, mold a little, some poor chap gets sold a little. When I use my fist a little, some young bride gets kissed a little, pressure with the thumbs, matrimony comes with, I put my hand in there.
This is Levi!
I know, Mr. Kemper. The train for Yonkers is ready to leave. Now you go buy our tickets, get a window seat, Order lunch and I'll meet you on board. Ephraim Levi, I'm going to get married again. I'm going to marry Horace Vandegelder for his money and send it out circulating among the people like rainwater, just the way you taught me. And I want a sign sometime today from you that you approve. Oh, it won't be a marriage in the sense that we had one, but I shall certainly make him happy. And I'm tired, Ephraim. I'm tired of living from hand to mouth. So I want that sign.
Mrs. Levi.
Sometime today. Now, don't you worry, Mr. Kemper. We'll make that train. We'll get to Yonkers, and you'll marry Ermengarde. Just leave everything to me. For when my little pinky wiggles, some young maiden gets the giggles. Then I make my knuckles active. Molly says she's so attractive. Then I move my index digit and they both begin to fidget. Then I clench my palm. The preacher reads a psalm when I put my hand in bed.
How can I be expected to play Yonkers my Yonkers with all that bellowing in my ears?
I can't help it. I love Ambrose Kemper.
And I say you're too young to be in love with anybody. Here, take this.
I'm not too young. I'm 17, and in another year, I'll be an old maid.
Well, I forbid it. Dare to be an old maid, Ermengarde, and I'll cut you off without a cent. And don't cry in front of the store.
I can't help it. I'm unhappy.
Then you'll go and weep for a while in New York, where it won't be noticed. Now go upstairs and start packing your trunk. And don't get any tears on the lock. It was just oil. Cornelius! Barnaby!
You stamped, Mr. Vandegelder?
I did. I got news for you both. I'm going to New York this afternoon to march in the 14th Street Association parade. And when I come back, you're going to have a mistress.
But I'm too young, Mr. Vandegelder.
Not yours, hell and damnation mine. I mean, I'm getting married again. And in honor of that occasion, I've decided to promote you, Cornelius, to chief clerk.
And what am I now, Mr. Vandegelder?
You're an impertinent fool, that's what you are, and I'm promoting you from impertinent fool to chief clerk. Any questions?
Yes.
What?
Does the chief clerk get one evening off a week?
So, that's how you thank me for your promotion, is it? No, sir, you'll attend to the store as usual. Now get back to work. And don't forget to put the lid on the sheep dip. Evenings off. Marrying artist. Foolishness. 99% of the people in this world are fools. And the rest of us are in great danger of contamination. Why, even I was once young, which was foolish. And I got married, which was foolish. And I was poor, which was more foolish than anything else. And then my wife died, which was foolish of her. And I grew older, which was sensible of me. And grew rich, friendless, and mean, which in Yonkers is about as far as you can go. Oh, I know what you're wondering now. Why a man of such good sense would be planning anything as foolish as getting married again? Well, the answer's all too clear. This house without a woman is an empty shell. And pretty dirty, too. It takes a woman all powdered and pink to joyously clean out the drain in the sink. And it takes an angel with the long golden lashes and soft resin fingers for dumping the ashes.
Yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life.
The frail young maiden who's constantly there for washing and bluing and shoeing the mare. And it takes a female for setting the table and weaning the Guernsey and cleaning the stable.
Yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life. And so she'll work on till infinity. 3 cheers for fair humanity. Rah, 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 F-E-M-I-T-Y.
Get out of here! And in the winter she'll shovel the ice and lovingly set out the traps for the mice. She's a joy and treasure, for practically speaking, to whom can you turn when the plumbing is leaking?
To that dainty woman, that fragile woman, that sweetheart, that mistress, that wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman,
A husky woman,
to bring you the sweet things in life. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life.
All right, out of here, all of you, go on, get out of here, go on.
Congratulations, congratulations, 1,000 congratulations.
What?
Congratulations, Mr. Vandegelder. All New York is buzzing with the news that you've practically proposed to Irene Malloy. The streets are lined with eligible young ladies prostrate with grief. All my congratulations and sympathy.
Sympathy?
Did I say that? Oh, a slip of the tongue, that's all. No, I'm delighted with the happy news. After all, she wasn't easy to unload. Well, by that I mean, you know what people said, but I, for one, never believed the rumors. No, I didn't.
Rumors? What rumors?
Oh, well, nothing to get upset about, Mr. Vandegelder. I mean, according to all the known facts, her first husband passed on quite naturally. It's just that he went so sudden. A few spoons of clam chowder that she made special for him, and poof! But it could happen to anyone. No, Mr. Vandegelder, there's no truth in it. Just one word of advice, Mr. Vandegelder. Eat out!
And now hold on, Mrs. Levi. Do you mean to say that
I mean to say nothing, Mr. Vandegelder. Just friendly advice. Keep away from the chowder. By the way, she's ordered her wedding gown. You should see it. It's beautiful black. Well, as I said before, Mr. Vandegelder, congratulations on your forthcoming nuptials, and may you rest in peace. I mean, may guardian angels watch over you both, particularly at dinner.
Now see here, Mrs. Levi. You introduced me to Mrs. Malloy, and rumors or not, I still intend paying another call on her this afternoon, as arranged.
Very well, Mr. Vandegelder. Then there's nothing for me to do than go back to New York and tell the other girl, the heiress, not to wait.
Wait, what did you say?
Nothing, a word. Heiress!
Particulars, Mrs. Levi. I demand particulars. Her name.
Her name? Money. Ernestina Money.
What a lovely, lovely name.
P picture, if you will. Hair as shiny as a newly minted dime, eyes as big and round as silver dollars, skin as soft and mossy as an old greenback.
I can feel her now.
Age 19, weight 102, waist 47.
Waist 47?
Oh, well, that's with the money belt. Now, I could arrange for you to meet with this Ernestina this very afternoon.
I ain't got time, Mrs. Levi. I got to bring my niece Ermengarde to New York until she forgets a certain Ambrose Kemper.
Well, I could do that for you, Mr. Vandegelder. I know just how to handle such things.
Then I'm marching in the 14th Street Parade.
What an amazing coincidence. Guess who's been chosen to ride on the main float? The spirit of 14th Street, Miss Money. Her mother was a cash, you know.
All right, Mrs. Levi. I'll meet Miss Money at the parade. But I still intend paying another call on Mrs. Malloy first.
Oh, dear. What races you make me run. Very well. I'll meet you on that bench in front of Mrs. Malloy's hat shop at 2:30 as usual.
One more thing, Mrs. Levi. What if I decide against Mrs. Malloy? But I don't like Miss Money neither.
Well, then I happen to have one more name on my list. A name I know as well as my own, but let's not get into that now. It will come up by itself all in good time. Don't you worry about that. Oh, Horace, but wait till you see Ernestina. A vision, a dream.
It takes a woman all powdered and pink to joyously clean out the drain in the sink. And it takes an angel with long golden lashes and soft resting fingers for dumping the ashes.
Yes, it takes a woman. Ephraim, I think I'll have that room done over in bright blue wallpaper. Yes, in blue. Ambrose, Ermengarde, come on out here. We've got plans to make.
Chief clerk. Promoted from chief clerk to chief clerk. And if I'm good, in 10 years, I'll be promoted to chief clerk again. 33 years old, Barnaby, and I still don't get an evening free. When am I gonna begin to live?
You can live on the holidays, Cornelius.
Did you forget what we did last Christmas? All those canned tomatoes went bad and exploded, and you and I had to clean up the mess all afternoon. Do you call that living?
No.
Barnaby, you and I are going to New York.
You mean close the store?
Uh-huh.
Cornelius, we can't.
You'll have to. Some more rotten tomato cans are going to explode.
Holy cabooses! How do you know?
I'm gonna light these candles under them, that's how I know. It'll make such a rotten smell, customers won't be able to come into the place for 24 hours. That'll get us an evening off. We're going to New York, Barnaby, and we're gonna live. We're going to have a good meal, we're gonna be in danger, we're gonna spend our money, we're gonna be arrested.
Holy cabooses!
And one more thing, we're not coming back to Yonkers until we've each kissed a girl.
Cornelius, you can't do that. You don't know any girls.
I'm 33 years old. I've got to start sometime.
I'm only 17, Cornelius. It isn't so urgent for me.
Barnaby, elevated trains, the lights of Broadway, the stuffed whale at Barnum's Museum.
A stuffed whale?
A stuffed whale? What do you say, Barnaby?
Yes, Cornelius, yes!
Now, the first thing to do is make you financially independent. I know, I'll find you a job. Can you dance?
I'm an artist, Mrs. Levi. I paint.
Well, then, my card.
Mrs. Dolly Levi. Painters taught how to dance.
Now, there's this man, Rudolph Reisenweber, at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant on 14th Street. I'm going to give you a note for him, and we'll see if we can't have you both entered in a poker contest tonight. The prize is a week's engagement and a solid gold cup. Oh, the cups we won, Ephraim and me.
Now, hold on, Mrs. Levi. No fiancé of mine is going to set foot in a cafe. And I'm not surprised you have acquaintances in a place like that.
Not acquaintances, Mr. Kemper. Friends, dear friends from days gone by. My late husband, Ephraim Levi, believed in life, and any place you could find it, in ballrooms, cafes, and yes, even theaters. Why, even when times were bad, every Saturday night like clockwork, down those steps at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant we came, Ephraim and me.
It's all very well to come down like clockwork, Mrs. Levi, but you're asking Ermengarde to work there.
It's the only way to show Horace Vandegelder that we mean business. Now you go to the Harmonia Gardens restaurant this afternoon and say that Mrs. Levi sent you, and incidentally tell Rudolph that Dolly's coming back, and I want a table for 2 and a chicken at 8 o'clock tonight.
The bottom row looks all right, Cornelius. Now hold the candle under the ones on top. Not too close. They're swelled up like they're ready to burst. Oh, holy cabooses! I can smell it from here.
Let's get dressed, Barnaby. We're going to New York.
Out there, there's a world outside of Yonkers, way out there beyond this hick town, Barnaby. There's a slick town, Barnaby, out there, full of shine and full of sparkle. Close your eyes and see it glisten, Barnaby. Listen, Barnaby. Wow! Put on your Sunday clothes, there's lots of a world out there. Get out your brilliantine and dime cigars. We're gonna find adventure in the evening air. Girls in white in a perfume night where the lights are bright as the stars. Put on your Sunday clothes, we're gonna ride through town in one of those new horse-drawn open cars. We'll see the shows at Delmonico's and we'll close the town in a whirl. And we won't go home until we've kissed a girl.
Put on your Sunday clothes when you feel down and out. Step down the street and have your picture took. Just like a dream, your spirit seemed to turn about. But Sunday shine is a certain sign that you feel as fine as you are. Beneath the parasol, the world is all a smile that makes you feel brand new down to your toes. Get out your feathers, your panties, leathers, your pins and buckles and bows. For there's no blue Monday in your Sunday clothes. Come on, Barnaby, we're going to New York. Elevating trains, Barnaby, the lights of Broadway. Holy cabooses! The stuffed whale at Barnum's Museum. Wow! Come on! Sunday clothes and you feel down and out. Stretch street and have your picture took. Time between your spirits seem to tear apart. The Sunday shine is a certain sign that you feel as fine as you are. Beneath the parasol, the the shop not open yet? It's all because of the impending marriage, I tell you. What marriage? Oh, I thought you knew. Well, the marriage Mrs. Levi is arranging between Mr. Horace Vandegelder, the well-known Yonkers half-a-millionaire, and my employer and friend, Mrs. Irene Malloy. Although, if you ask me, he'll never take the place of her late husband, Mr. Peter Malloy. May he rest in peace wherever he is. I'm not sure. He was a caution, you know. Oh, it's all too much with late husbands and new marriages. And on top of everything else, Miss Mortimer, returning this hat for the third time. Same old story, she wants more cherries and feathers. Cherries and feathers to catch a bow, I suppose. Although, if you ask me, she'd do better with a nice, heavy veil. I told her ribbons down her back is what we'll be wearing this summer if we want to catch a gentleman's eye. But she'd have none of it. She wants more cherries and feathers on the day of all days when poor, dear, sweet Mrs. Malloy has enough on her mind, what with.
With what, Minnie?
With a door. It's stuck.
Then push.
As I was saying, Mrs. Malloy, I could bite out my tongue for the things I've said and the things I'm going to say. But as long as I've gone this far, I might as well go all the way. Mrs. Malloy, why?
Say it, Minnie. Why have I decided to marry Horace Vandegelder?
Mrs. Malloy, I didn't ask you that. I'd rather die in the rack than ask you such a personal question. But as long as you did bring it up.
I am marrying Horace Vandegelder for one reason and one reason alone, Minnie. To get away from the millinery business. I hate hats.
Mrs. Malloy!
And I can no longer stand being suspected of being a wicked woman with nothing to show for
Oh,
it.
Mrs. Malloy!
Don't protest, Minnie. All millineresses are suspected of being wicked women. That's why I can't go out into restaurants or balls or theaters. That's all the proof they'd need. Take my word for it, Minnie. Either I marry Horace Vandegelder or I break out of this place like a fire engine. Mrs. Mortimer, again.
Miss Mortimer, I'll take care of it.
No, Minnie, leave it be. You can make another hat for Miss Mortimer if you'd like, but I'll be wearing this one myself.
Mrs. Malloy, you can't. You're a widow in that hat. Well, it's provocative, that's what.
Is it, Minnie? Well, who knows who may just walk into the shop today. And provocative may be just what I want to be.
Mrs. Malloy.
I'll be wearing ribbons down my back this summer, blue and green and streaming in the yellow sky. So if someone special comes my way this summer, he might notice me passing by, and so I'll try to make it easier to find me in the stillness of July, because a breeze might stir a rainbow behind me that might happen to catch the gentleman's eye, and he might smile and take me by the hand this summer, making me recall how lovely love can be. And so I will proudly wear ribbons down my back, shining in my hair, that he might notice me. And so I will proudly wear ribbons down my
make me ask you this next question I'm about to ask. But I'm gonna ask it anyhow. Do you love Horace Vandegelder?
No, Minnie, I don't. Peter Malloy, God rest him, was my share of love, and I'm not saying I was shortchanged. Once is enough for a woman, as long as it's true love. And it was that. Look, Minnie, there's two men staring into the shop.
Men?
Why, I do believe they mean to come in here.
Men in the shop? What shall we do?
Do? Why, flirt with them, of course. I'll give you the short one.
Mrs. Malloy and you with all this talk about love?
Love enough I've had, Minnie. It's a bit of adventure I could do with now. We'll get them all heated up and drop them cold. It'll be good practice for married life. Now, you go back into the workroom, Minnie. I know a few ways that we can perk up our appearances. Besides, a bit of weight will only make them more nervous and easier for us to...
If you say vamp, I'll scream.
Vamp. And so I'll try to make it easier to find me in the stillness of July, because a breeze might stir a rainbow behind me that might happen to catch the gentleman's eye. We'll get an adventure out of this yet, Minnie.
Oh, we'll get an adventure out of this yet, Barnaby. All day long we wander around New York and nothing happens. Then we come to the quietest street in the city and suddenly...
Vandegelder!
Is he still out there? Go look!
He's sitting right there on that bench, Cornelius. Are you sure this is an adventure?
You don't have to ask, Barnaby. When you're in one, you'll know it all right. How much money have you got left?
40 cents for the train ride back, 30 cents for dinner, and 20 cents to see the whale. 90 cents. Why?
When those women come out, we'll have to pretend to be customers. Customers, that's it. Maybe the best thing to do is make them think we're rich. Then we won't have to spend anything.
We're two men about town looking for hats for ladies. Good afternoon, Mrs.
Malloy.
Here, Cornelius Hackl. Here, Barnaby Tucker.
My pleasure, gentlemen. Now what can I do for you,
Well, you see, we're two ladies about town looking for some hats to Malloy, and we wondered...
we're hats, you see. We wanted to buy a lady or two to Malloy with.
We want to buy a hat. For a lady, of course. And everybody said to go to Miss Malloy's because she's so pretty. I mean, her hats are so pretty.
And so reasonable, Cornelius. As reasonable as under $1 would still give us enough to see the whale.
Don't mind him, ma'am. He's come all the way from Yonkers to see the stuffed whale, and he's just a bit excited. Just keep an eye on that street, Barnaby, and maybe you'll see it pass by.
Is it big and black with mean little red eyes?
Yes.
It's sitting right there on that bench.
Oh, excuse me, but did you say Yonkers, Mr. Hackl?
Oh, yes, ma'am, Yonkers. And you should see Yonkers. By that, I mean perhaps Mr. Malloy would like to see Yonkers, too.
Oh, I'm a widow, Mr. Hackl.
You are? Barnaby, she's a widow! Ooh! That's too bad. I'm sure Mr. Malloy would have enjoyed Yonkers, especially in that hat. I mean, on you, of course. Not Mr. Malloy, may he rest in peace. You are Catholic, aren't you? Well, don't let that bother you. I'd be willing to change. Mrs. Malloy, if you should ever happen to have a Sunday free, I'd be more than pleased to show you Yonkers from top to bottom.
Well, as a matter of fact, Mr. Hackl, I might be there sooner than you think.
Oh, really?
You see, I have a friend who lives in Yonkers.
Do you?
Perhaps you know him.
Perhaps we do.
Although it's usually so foolish to ask in cases like that, isn't it? It's a Mr. Vandegelder.
Horace Vandegelder?
Oh, Vandegelder's hay and feed?
Do you know him?
Oh, no.
Mr. Vandegelder's a substantial man and well-liked, they tell me.
Oh, a lovely man, Mrs. Malloy. Just lovely. Only one fault as far as I know. He's as hard as nails.
Cornelius, I think.
Now I wonder if your friend might like this.
Look out!
Please excuse us, Mrs. Malloy.
Gentlemen, what are you doing?
Please help us. We'll explain later.
Come out of there this minute.
We're as innocent as can be, Miss Malloy.
Well, really. Mr. Hackl, Mr. Tucker, I insist you both come out of there this minute, or I shall be forced... To... Mr. Vandegelder.
Mrs. Malloy, I don't suppose Miss Levi's in here, is she? She was supposed to meet me on that bench 10 minutes ago. Well, if she comes, she can just go looking for me, because when I make an appointment, I expect people to be on time. Here's a present for you. Chocolate-covered peanuts. Unshelled. That's the expensive kind. Did I just see you talking with two men?
Men, Mr. Vandegelder. What would men be doing in a ladies' hat shop? Now let's go back into my workroom. I'm so anxious for you to see it.
I saw it last week.
So you did. Well, Mr. Vandegelder, what's new in the hay and feed business? I hear you have 3 friends, all hard as nails.
What on earth are you talking about?
Yonkers. I hear it's a very beautiful city.
And who, may I ask, has been telling you about Yonkers?
Nobody. A friend.
What friend?
Well, you see,
He?
A customer, Mr. Vandegelder. Someone quite well-to-do, as a matter of fact. He was in here today buying hats for ladies. Perhaps you know him, although it's usually silly to ask in cases like that. It's Mr. Cornelius Hackl.
Did you say Hackl?
Why, yes.
Only he's my head clerk, that's all. Mrs. Malloy, I demand an explanation.
And I'm going to give it to you. Why shouldn't you know Cornelius Hackl? Everybody in New York knows Cornelius Hackl. Why, he's here at the opera, in all the fashionable homes. Why, he's even at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant 3 times a week.
Impossible. He's only got $146.35, and I keep it in my own safe.
Oh, Mr. Vandegelder, you are killing me. He is one of the Hackls. They built the canal.
What canal?
The Panama.
Both.
It ain't the same man.
Who took the horses out of Jean Lynn's carriage and pulled her through the streets? Cornelius Hackl. And who, dressed up as a waiter the other night at the 5th Avenue Hotel, took an oyster and stuck it right down Mrs. Astor's... Oh, no, I can't say it, but it was Cornelius Hackl. He's the playboy of New York. Now, Irene, don't deny it. I can see that you're taken with him just like everybody else.
Of course. Dolly, I don't know what you're talking about. I've only seen him once in my... Hold your tongue. Get back to work, Minnie. She's a silly girl. You have to excuse her. She's...
There's a man in there!
Now, see here. If there's a man in that closet...
No, Mr. Vandegelder, you can't. It's too dangerous.
Mrs. Levi, no man that hides in ladies' closets can frighten me. Now, stand aside.
No man, indeed. I'm sure that you could make short work of any man. Those muscles, I can see them now rippling back and forth underneath your coat. Ripple, 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 back and forth.
Mrs. Levi, for the last time, will you please stand aside?
Stand, indeed. That's what the courts will want to know when you're accused of entering that closet without a search warrant. I mean, what do you stand for if you don't stand for the great law of this land? I know what I stand for. I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot bitch for orphans. Take off your hat, sir. Betsy Ross's flag is passing. Do you see him on the hill at Gettysburg? He's a great triumphal arch. If you see him as he's trampling through the graves of a rat, stand up and march, march, march.
Has this not affected you, sir? I came here at 14 years of age, an immigrant girl from a land that oppressed my people, and I must echo here what was said by that great and patriotic American, Moses. I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot bitch for orphans. Take off your hat, sir. There's a tear-stained eagle passing. Do you see him on the hill at Waterloo? The great triumphal arch. If you hear him singing Dixie in the sugar cane, stand up and march, march, march. I stand for my love, America, and the orphans. Take off your hat, sir. Betsy Ross's flag is passing. Do you see Lincoln on the hill at Gettysburg? I see that I could join her for the Stonewall Jackson's glory. Fourscore and 7 years ago. March, march. To form more perfect union. March, march. Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead.
So you see, Mr. Vandegelder, there couldn't possibly be a man in that closet. Oh, God bless you.
Mrs. Malloy!
All right, Mr. Vandegelder, there is a man in the cupboard.
Uh-huh!
And another one under the table.
What the devil?
There also happens to be a very simple explanation, but for the present, good afternoon.
Good Lord, good Lord, good Lord, good Lord, good Lord. The whole room is crawling with men. I can't get over it. I take it I'll see you later this afternoon, Mr. Vandegelder.
You certainly will, Mrs. Levi, with a certain young lady on the main float at the end of the parade. Good day.
Oh, Irene, my gosh.
Mrs. Malloy, we can explain everything.
I do not wish to hear any explanations, Mr. Hackl. Just you and Mr. Tucker. Do me the pleasure of leaving my shop, or I shall send for Officer Fogarty.
Oh, well, Irene, if you ask me, calling an officer is letting them off too easy. The law court, that's where they belong. I've been adding up the legal defenses, and believe me, you've got the grounds for at least 2 writs, a non compos mentis, and a garnishee. Well, now, the first thing to do is to show you've tried to settle amicably first. Have dinner with them.
Dinner?
Is that absolutely necessary, Dolly?
It's the way things are done in the law, Irene. Dinner first, garnishee afterwards.
Well, if it must be, Mr. Hackl, Mr. Tucker, you may take Miss Fay and myself to dinner.
Delighted, Mrs. Malloy. I speak for Barnaby, too. Now, I hear there's a very nice restaurant in the railroad station.
Oh, no, Mr. Hackl. If Harmonia Gardens is good enough for you and your fashionable friends, it's good enough for us. I hear they have a lovely orchestra there, Minnie.
Oh, we couldn't go there, Mrs. Malloy. Now, don't misunderstand me. It isn't the money or anything. It's the whale. It's the whale. No, it isn't the whale, Barnaby. It's the dancing. You see? They have dancing in a place like that. Exhibitions, even contests, and I don't know how, and it would take me weeks, months, years to learn. Mrs. Dolly Levi, 33-year-old chief clerks taught how to dance.
Now it's simple, Mr. Hackl. You just put one arm here and one arm there.
It's no use. I have absolutely no sense of rhythm.
Absolutely no sense of rhythm is one of the primary requirements of learning by the Gallagher-Levi method. Just give me 5 minutes of your time, Mr. Hackl, and I'll have you dancing in the streets. Now, we'll start with lesson 7, the waltz kick turn. No, it's simple. Just right foot touch, left foot touch, under back around touch, back through around behind, out, over, release, unfurl. That's wonderful, Mr. Hackl. When I think of all the lucky women who'll find heaven in your arms, let's go back to lesson 1. Put your hand on her waist and stand with her right in your left hand. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Look! I'm dancing! Well, I was.
Of course you were, Mr. Hackl. Take the someone whose arms you're in. Hold on to her tight and spin. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Wow! I'm dancing!
Turn around and turn around. Try floating through the air. Can't you be a little more aesthetic? Woo!
Don't you think my dancing has a polish and a flair?
The word I think I'd use is athletic.
Well, my heart is about to burst. My head is about to pop. And now that I'm dancing, who cares if I ever stop? Look at me, everybody. I, Cornelius Hackl, sport, am dancing.
You're next, Mr. Tucker. glide and step and then step and glide.
And everyone stand aside.
Wow! He's dancing!
You can learn to polka if you want to rigosso, or the tango filled with passion seething.
I might join the chorus of the Castle Garden show.
Try whatever you do, for God's sakes, keep breathing.
My heart is about to burst. My head is about to pop. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop?
Someone you hardly know, and wish you were closer to. Remember that he can be near to you while you're dancing. Though you've only just said hello, he's suddenly someone who can make all your daydreams appear to you while you're dancing. Make the music weave a spell, whirl away your worry. Things look almost twice as well when they're slightly blurry.
As around and around you go, your spirits will hit the top. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop?
Brooke's here. Mrs. Levi. How are you, Mrs. Levi?
How are you, Mrs. Rose?
Oh, honey, the same. Pains in my back, aches in my side, stabs in my liver. Honey, I'm fine. By the way, my daughter Fanny got married. Did you know?
Did she?
A year ago, last September. It's been a long time since you've lived here, Mrs. Levi. Such a long, long time.
Ephraim, let me go. It's been long enough, Ephraim. Every night, for all these years, I've put out the cat, I've locked the door, made myself a little rum toddy. And before I went to bed, I said a prayer thanking God that I was independent and that no one else's life was mixed up with mine. And then one night, an oak leaf fell out of my Bible. I placed it there when you asked me to marry you, Ephraim. A perfectly good oak leaf, but without life and without color. And then I suddenly realized that I was like that oak leaf. For years, I had not shed one tear, nor had I been filled with the wonderful hope that something or another would turn out well. And so, I decided to join the human race again, Ephraim. And I want you to give me away. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna get in step while there's still time left. Before the parade passes by.
Mrs. Levi, come along. Cornelius is taking us to see the 14th Street Parade. Everybody will be marching.
Why, Irene, you're crying.
Oh, Dolly, the world is full of such wonderful things. Come with us.
I will. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna go and taste Saturday's high life. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna get some life back into my life. I'm ready to move out in front. I've had enough of just passing by life with the rest of them, with the best of them. I can hold my head up high. For I gotta go again, I gotta drive again. I wanna feel my heart coming alive again before the parade passes by. Look at that crowd up ahead. Listen and hear that brass harmony growing. Look at that crowd up ahead. Pardon me if my own spirit is showing. All those lights over there seem to be telling me where I'm moving. When the whistles blow and the cymbals crash and the sparklers light the sky, I'm gonna raise the roof, I'm gonna carry on. Give me an old trombone, give me an old baton before the parade passes by.
Passes by. Listen and hear that brass harmony growing. The parade passes by. When we hit the road, spirit is showing. All those lights overhead. It is
Levi, she's beautiful. Everything you said and more. Don't move, Miss Money, I'm coming. Hey, stop that thief. I paid for that girl and I want all the parts. Miss Money, what have they done to you? Mrs. Levi, what is the meaning of this?
Nothing to get upset about, Horace. A last-minute substitution. Miss Money had a sudden urgent business appointment at the Mint. They ran a little short and she's helping out. But she'll meet you at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant at 8 o'clock tonight.
The Harmonia Gardens? That's the most expensive restaurant in the city.
As well it should be. What food? The fastest waiters in New York. By the way, I might be running a little late, so Miss Money will meet you in front of the restaurant. Wait till you see her, Horace, all in buttercup yellow with baby pink shoes and humming an old-fashioned tune. Yes, sweet Rosie O'Grady, my sweet little love. You couldn't miss her if you tried.
All right, I'll be there, Dolly. But only because I've already paid for the introduction, and I might as well get my money's worth. But understand one thing. From this point on, you are hereby discharged as my marriage broker. Is that clear, Dolly Gallagher? From now on, you're just a woman like anyone else. Hey, where are you taking me? Stop that. I'm Horace Vandegelder of Yonkers, New York.
Ephraim, he's as good as mine. I'm gonna raise the roof. I'm gonna carry on. Give me an old trombone. Give me an old baton before the parade passes by.
Mr. Hackl, but now perhaps you'd better call a hack or we won't get to the Harmonia Gardens on time. Oh, there's one.
Oh, we couldn't do that. It's not the money or anything. It's just that nowadays, really elegant people never take hacks.
Hacks is out.
They all go by streetcar.
J.P. Vanderbilt, Damien Morgan.
Then by all means we go by streetcar.
Imagine! Just think, I've been elegant all my life and never even knew it!
Of course, if you really want to be elegant.
We do.
You walk. Yes, New York, it's really us, Barnaby and Cornelius.
All the guests of Mr. Hackl are feeling great and look spectacular.
What a knack there is to that, acting like a born aristocrat. We got elegance. If you ain't got elegance, you can never ever carry it off.
Pedigree, Minnie Fay has pedigree.
Exercise your wildest whims tonight. We are out with the diamond gems tonight. Could they be misleading us?
Silver spoons were used for feeding us. We got elegance. If you ain't got elegance, you can never ever carry it off. Middle class, don't speak of its savoir-faire. We reek of it. Some were born with rags and patches, but we used dollar bills for matches. And
Vanderbilt kowtows to us.
J.P. Morgan scrapes and bows to us. We got elegance. If you ain't got elegance,
have you noticed when I hold my cup, the saucer never moves?
And the way I keep my pinky up, it doubly moves.
We got elegance. We got built in elegance, and with elegance we'll carry it on. Elegance. If you ain't got elegance, you can never ever carry it off. We got elegance. We got elegance.
Look, Minnie, they're counting their money again. Isn't that just like the rich? Gentlemen, aren't you going to escort us in?
Of course. Barnaby. Mrs. Malloy.
Yes, Mr. Hackl.
Mrs. Malloy, as we go inside, may I?
Yes, Mr. Hackl?
May I put my arm around your waist?
Yes, Mr. Hackl. But I might as well warn you, a corset is a corset.
You heard Mrs. Levi. It's the only way to show your uncle that we mean business. Now, can you weep a little faster? You're throwing me off step. Faster! That's it.
And it is my order as head vet of the Harmonia Gardens and your supreme commander that tonight of all nights our usual lightning service will be twice as lightning as ever.
or else. I trust you are finding this table satisfactory, sir. The private dining rooms do cost a bit more, but they afford the best view of the entertainment.
$1.40, Cornelius! That's all that's left! Are you sure? Count it again!
Prepare yourself for a big night, Minnie. We're out with two of New York's best-known sports.
I did make a mistake, Cornelius. It's only $1.35. I'll count once more.
No, don't. We can't afford it.
I'm going to order everything on the menu. Waiter!
I have told you before, sir, you will have to move. This table is reserved for Mrs. Levi and party.
And just who do you think I am? Only it's Horace Vandegelder and party. She's in my party, I ain't in hers.
Mr. Vandegelder, of course. It's just that Mrs. Levi mentioned nothing about you bringing
my personal physician. That's enough rouge, doctor.
But Mrs. Levi only ordered a chicken for two.
A chicken? Chicken's a deer.
Und pâté majon, soupe de jour, und pomme soufflée.
Well, why didn't you tell me this was an Oriental establishment? We'll take 2 bowls of rice. Now get out. Now, Miss Money, I understand you carry considerable sums in your belt.
Yeah, $2. Only it's in my garter. It's sweet of you to worry about our reputations, Cornelius, but Minnie, I don't care who sees us tonight. Well, Minnie, what have you decided? Oh, I couldn't have anything at these prices. I really couldn't.
Great grindstones. What a sensible girl. Waiter, bring us 4 glasses of beer, a loaf of yesterday's bread, and some cheese.
Yesterday's bread? Oh, Cornelius, now I know how you keep half of New York in stitches all the time. Minnie, have you ever eaten pheasant?
Pheasant?
Say! Why the closed curtains? You ashamed or something?
It's not that. I just felt a slight chill.
Well, why didn't you say so? Here, I'll loan you this. Now let's order something to hold us till the rice comes. Waiter! A roast suckling pig, chestnut and oyster stuffing, cheese fondue, and some lady fingers. Now, what will you have? Digestion, Cornelius, but I'm sure the pheasants are fresh. We'll take 4, please, and a nice red wine.
Wait a minute. No wine.
No wine?
Champagne!
Champagne?
Barnaby, it's once in a lifetime. Champagne and Neapolitan ice cream and hot house peaches. Barnaby, here's my wallet. Give the band leader a nickel and have him play To a Wild Rose. We want music while we dine.
Say, this is a cafe, isn't it? Let's dance.
The Vandegelders do not dance, Miss Money. We're Presbyterian.
All right, I'll dance myself. Give him $2 for the band leader, will you? And tell him to play something refined. I'm gonna do the hoochie-coochie.
All right, Cornelius, I'll send for the band. Just promise you won't order anything else.
You wait here, Miss Money. I'll tell the band leader to play a nice waltz.
Waiter. Sir, excuse me, waiter. Yes.
Here, you. Give this to the band leader. Tell him to play a nice waltz.
For the band leader. Would you tell him to play it?
Miss Money!
Cornelius!
My purse. Here, you.
My
That's
wallet.
my purse. Miss Money, get off that chair. You're dancing in the stew.
Excuse me, that's my wallet. I know it's mine because it only has $1, 3 dimes, 5 pennies. Cornelius! Cornelius! Did he say 2 pheasants? 3, 4 pheasants for the whole house! And never mind the whale, I'll buy one of my own!
Sir! What's this? Shouting? How many times have I told you not to shout, boy? This is the Harmonia Gardens restaurant, not one of those.
Sir! The lady, she's here!
What, are you sure, boy?
Just like you told me, sir. 8 o'clock on the nose. Up drives this tall lady with the biggest handbag I ever saw.
It is. It's Dolly. It's she. She's back.
Rudolph, it is true. I heard somebody laughing outside of the kitchen window, and it sounded like
It is. It's Dolly. Good, Fritz, go tell the band. She just stepped out of her carriage.
Rudy! It's true, no?
Yes, she just pulled up in a big black and gold carriage with white horses, all with scarlet plumes.
I don't know. It's like old times again.
We must get everything ready. Make sure she has new fresh flowers and candles on her table. We must have the best silverware and china that we have. Everything must be perfect for Miss Levi.
Rudy! She's here.
Hello, Harry. Well, hello, Louis. It's so nice to be back home where I belong. You're looking swell, Danny. I can tell, Manny. You're still growing, you're still growing, you're still going strong. I feel the room swaying, for the band's playing one of my old favorite songs from way back when. So bridge that gap, fellas, find me an empty lap. Fellas, Dolly will never go away again.
Hello, Dolly. Well, hello, Dolly. It's so nice to have you back where you belong. You're looking swell, Dolly. We can tell, Dolly. You're still growing, you're still growing, you're still going strong. We feel the room swaying, for the band playing one of your old favorite songs from way back when. So
Here's my hat, fellas, I'm staying where I'm at. Fellas,
Dolly, you'll never go away again.
I went away from the lights of 14th Street and into my personal haze. But now that I'm back in the lights of 14th Street, tomorrow will be brighter than the good old days.
Those good old days. Hello, Dolly. Well, hello, hey, Dolly.
Glad to see you, hey, let's thank my lucky star. You're looking great, Stanley. That's the great Stanley. Dolly's overloaded and overwhelmed and overpowered.
I hear the eyes, the lies, and you still get glances from us handsome men. So
Golly gee, fellas, find me a vacant knee, fellas.
Dolly, you'll never go away
the old girl now, fellas.
Wow, Dolly, you'll never go away again.
Excuse me, girlie. Dolly, what are you doing in that get-up? And you're half an hour late, and I demand an explanation for...
Ernestina!
Exactly!
Ernestina, whom I trusted.
She wanted to do the hoochie-coochie.
Well, she was always artistic. Horace, I'm going to have our table moved down front. There's someone in the dance competition in particular that I want you to see. Well, let's not say another word about it. I'm as shocked as you are. I can't eat a thing. What have you ordered?
What you wanted, a chicken. Now about that hoochie-coochie girl.
Did you say a chicken? Oh, no. I couldn't face a chicken. Not a chicken, not today, not after what's happened.
Good, then cancel the chicken.
And bring a turkey.
What are you doing now?
Nothing. Just looking the place over, getting acquainted with the surroundings.
You know, that's the trouble with you, Dolly. Always want to know everything that's going on. Always sticking your nose into other people's affairs. Why, anybody who married you would get as nervous as a cat.
What? What's that you're saying?
I said, anybody who married you would
Why,
get...
Horace Vandegelder, you get that idea right out of your head this minute. Why, I'm surprised that you would even mention such a thing. Understand once and for all that I have no intention of marrying you.
I didn't mean that.
Well, I certainly do hope not. Horace Vandegelder, you go your way, and I'll go mine. I am not some Irene Malloy, whose head can be turned with a few chocolate-covered peanuts, unshelled. What? The idea of you even mentioning such a thing. However, let's not discuss it anymore. Here's the waiter with our food. Oh, and here's some white meat for you. Yes, and some giblets. Oh, yes. Thank you. Oh, very tender and very good for you. And some dumplings, lighter than air they are. Well, as I said before, Horace, you go your way and I'll go mine. Now start right in on the wine. I think you'll feel better all at once. However, since you brought the whole matter up, I think there's one more thing I ought to say.
I didn't bring the matter up at all.
One more thing I'm going to say before we forget all about it. Now, it's true that I'm a woman who likes to know everything that's going on, who likes to manage things. But I wouldn't want to manage anything as out of control as your household. No, Horace, you can do that for yourself. God helping you.
It's not out of control.
Very well. That does not say another word about it. Here, have some beets, Horace. They're
I don't
good.
like beets.
That's nice. No, a complaining, quarrelsome, friendless soul like you is no sort of companion for me. You salt your beets, and I'll salt mine.
Will you stop saying that?
I won't say another word.
Good.
Except this.
Oh.
At your age, you should enjoy hearing the honest truth.
My age. You're always talking about my age.
Well, I don't even know what your age is. But I do know that up in Yonkers, with bad food and bad temper, you will double it in 6 months. Now have some beets.
I don't like beets. I hate beets.
That's nice. Yes, the pity of it all is that you could be a perfectly charming, witty, amiable man if you wanted to.
I don't want to be charming.
But you are! Look at you. You can't hide it. Now sit down, Horace, and let's talk of something else. But before we change the subject, there's one more thing I'm going to say.
You're wasting your time, Dolly Levi. I will not ask you to marry me.
Well, then I suppose that means you want me to ask you. Well, sorry, Horace. I'm turning you down.
How can you turn me down when I haven't asked you anything?
It's no use arguing. I've made up your mind.
I've got a headache. I'm going back to the hotel.
Oh, but you can't go now. The dance competition is about to begin.
Here's the money for dinner. Here's $20. Wait a minute. There's nothing in here but $1, 3 dimes, 5 pennies, and a button. This isn't my purse. I've lost my purse.
Barnaby, that purse you found.
Impossible. I can't imagine you without your purse.
It's Vandegelder, Cornelius. We gotta get out of here.
What am I gonna do? I've never been here before. They don't know me. Stop eating that turkey.
Horace, it's the latest thing, a polka, and there's one dancer in particular that I want you to see. Rudolph, move our table right down front so Mr. Vandegelder can better observe his graceful movements.
Wait a minute, that man, that dancer.
Isn't he wonderful? With talent like that, he is sure to win the solid golden cup.
Come along, Mrs. Malloy. It's been a perfectly wonderful evening, but I'm afraid we're going to have to cut it a bit, excuse me, short.
Oh, Minnie, a polka. Cornelius, we simply must have one dance.
No. Vandegelder's right there. We gotta go.
We will go, but we'll dance our way out.
Hackl!
Mr. Vandegelder!
Oh! Barnaby Tucker!
Mr. Vandegelder!
Oh no! What are we gonna do?
Oh no!
Ermengarde! Dolly Levi, this is your doing! What are you up to?
Mr. Vandegelder, I can explain everything!
I don't want to hear any explanations! You're fired!
Arrest that man!
Get him! Arrest him!
Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing? Take
No,
your hands off me!
that's one!
That's better. No. You are all charged with disturbing the peace, inciting to riot, assault and battery, and several other equally serious violations of the law of this city. Now, Is there anyone here to speak on your behalf? I say, is there anyone here to speak on your behalf? Mrs. Dolly Levi, counselor at law.
Your Honor, the defense rests. No. There's no need to call witnesses when I see upon that bench a brow that gleams with honor, a pair of snow-white whiskers that bristle with fair play, and a nose. I ask you to look at that nose, ladies and gentlemen. A nose that shines in the night like a flaming beacon of justice. Would you mind turning this way a bit, Your Honor, so that we may get a better look at your beacon? A living symbol of the great motto of this land, E proboscis unum. Your Honor, I ask for the freedom of my clients and a verdict of guilty for the only real culprit, Horace Vandegelder of Yonkers, New York.
What, Dolly?
The one man responsible for all these grievous charges of willful destruction of private property.
One curtain torn, one veta bruised, and one solid gold cup bent.
Cruelty to a poor, unfortunate minor. Would you mind repeating that, dear?
Mrs. Levi, if it please the court, I have something to say.
I was just about to call on you, Mr. Hackl. Go right ahead.
Cornelius Hackl, if you dare testify against me, you're discharged.
You've already done that, Mr. Vandegelder.
I'll do it again.
You've done it again, too. And even if you hadn't, I'd still say what I have to say. Now, I don't know much about disturbing the peace or inciting to riot, but I do know that what happened to me today, which is the most important thing that could ever happen to a man, would have never happened had I obeyed your orders and stayed in Yonkers, New York. Your Honor, I am talking about none other than love.
Now, hold on. Do you mean to tell me that just because you took one day off work, you've fallen in love?
Oh, no, Mr. Vandegelder. I didn't fall in love with Mrs. Irene Malloy of this city in just a day. An hour. Even that's too long. What's less than a minute?
A second.
Less than that.
A moment.
That's it. I'll go slowly so you can get it all down. It only takes a moment for your eyes to meet, and then your heart knows in a moment you will never be alone again. I held her for an instant, and my arms felt sure and strong. It only takes a moment to be loved a whole life long. Isn't the world full of wonderful things? There I sat cooped up in Yonkers for years and years. And all the time, wonderful people like Mrs. Malloy were walking around in New York, and I didn't know them at all. I don't know if you can all see from where you're sitting. Well, for instance, the way her eye and cheek and forehead come together up here. Can you? I tell you right now, A fine woman is the greatest work of God on earth. You can talk about the pyramids on Niagara Falls all you like. They aren't in it at all. Of course I've seen women before. But today, I talk to one equal to equal. And they're so different from men. And they're awfully mysterious, too. I bet you can go 100 years with knowing a woman without ever really being sure whether she likes you or not. Today, I've lost so many things. My job, my future. But I don't care. Even if I have to be a ditch digger the rest of my life, I'll be a ditch digger who once had a wonderful day.
Oh, I missed a few words back there, Mr. Hackl. Right after it only.
Take some moment, but his arms fell short and strong. It only takes some moment.
He held me for an instant, but his arms felt safe and strong. It only takes a moment to be loved a whole life long.
And that is all that love's about.
And we'll recall when time runs out
That it only took a moment to be loved a whole life long.
Dismissed! Dismissed! Oh, dismissed! All except Horace Vandegelder of Yonkers, New York. You're dismissed, my children. Go, you're free. And bless you.
Mrs. Levi, you may see the prisoner now.
Well, Horace, there's your life. Without niece, without clerks, without bride, and without your purse. It looks as if there's only one more thing for me to say.
If it's to ask me to marry you, Dolly, never, not in a million years. Under no circumstances will I ever marry you.
That wasn't it at all, Horace. All I really wanted to say was goodbye.
What?
Goodbye.
Now hold on, Dolly.
It's too late, Horace. I failed. And when a woman fails, there's nothing else she can say.
Wait.
But goodbye, 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 goodbye. Don't try and stop me, Horace, please. Wave your little hand and whisper sorrow, dearie. You ain't gonna see me anymore. But when you discover that your life is true, don't you come a-knocking at my door. For I'll be all dolled up and singing that song that says, you dog, I told you so. So wave a little hand and whisper so long, dearie. Dearie should have said so long ago. Because you treated me so rotten and rough, I've had enough of feeling low. So wave a little hand and whisper so long, dearie. Dearie should have said so long ago. For I can hear that choo-choo calling me on to a fancy new address. Yes, I can hear that choo-choo calling me on board that Happiness Express. I'm gonna learn to dance and drink and smoke a cigarette. I'm going as far away from Yonkers as a girl can get. So and on those cold winter nights, Horace, you can snuggle up to your cash register. It's a little lumpy, but it rings. So come on knocking, I'll be all dialed up and singing that song that says, you dog, I told you so. So Horace, you will find your life a sad old story when you see a Dolly shoveled off to glory. Oh, I should have said so long ago.
And I wouldn't marry you, Dolly Levi, if you were the last woman on earth. Not if you asked me 1,000,000 times. I didn't need you before, and I don't need you now. You go your way, and I'll go mine. Dolly, Dolly, Dolly.
You stamped, Mr. Vandegelder?
Ah, so it's you, is it, Mr. Hackl? Come crawling back, have you?
Oh, no, Mr. Vandegelder. I just stopped by for my $146.35. You see, I've decided to go into business for myself. And since the only business I know is hay and feed, I'm opening my own store.
And Cornelius has found the perfect location, Mr. Vandegelder, right across the street from you.
So you think you can compete with Vandegelders, do you? Well, you just try.
I am.
Uh-huh. Another one come crawling back. What do you want, Mr. Tucker?
My bag salary for the past 6 months. $6.12.
You can't do this to me. None of you. I'll get lawyers. I'll take it to the courts. I will,
Why, Horace Vandegelder, as I live and breathe, if you aren't handsome in that outfit. So few men nowadays have the courage to wear fawn yellow and taupe.
Dolly Levi!
I know just what you're going to say, Horace. You're not satisfied with Ernestina. Well, I have another girl for you, the ideal wife. Oh, but don't let me interrupt you. You were doing something. What were you doing?
Getting Cornelius's money, Dolly. $146.
And 35 cents.
Plus $6.12 of mine.
$6.12 belong to Barnaby.
And the money my mama gave me. $52.48.
38 cents?
48.
All right. If it's the money you want, the safe is upstairs.
$146.
And 35 cents.
I got
$6.11.
We got $6.12.
$6.12 belong to Barnaby. Money, 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 money. Mr. Vandegelder's money. It's like the sun we walk under. It can kill or cure. Vandegelder's never tired of saying that most people in the world are fools. And in a way, he's right, isn't he? Himself, Irene, Cornelius, myself. Yes, we're all fools, and we're all in danger of destroying the world in our folly. But the surest way to keep us out of harm is to give us the 4 or 5 human pleasures that are rightfully ours in the world. And that takes money. Now, the difference between a little money and no money is enormous and can shatter the world. And the difference between a little money and an enormous amount of money is very slight. It's all in how you use it. As my late husband Ephraim Levi always said, money, pardon the expression, is like manure. It's not worth a thing unless it's spread around, encouraging young things to grow. Anyhow, that's the opinion of the second Mrs. Vandegelder. Yes, it takes a woman, da-da-da-da-da. Which reminds me, Ephraim, I'm ready for that sign.
Now that goes upstairs.
Well, as I was saying, Horace, I have found you the ideal wife.
Dolly, I don't want you to find me no ideal wives. If I wanted one, I'd find one of my own, and I have. And it's you, damn it!
Why, Horace?
Dolly, I know I've been a fool about Mrs. Malloy and that other woman, but Dolly, forgive me. And marry me.
Horace, stop right there.
What do you mean?
You know as well as I do that you are the first citizen of Yonkers, and your wife would have to be a somebody. Answer me. Am I a somebody?
You are a wonderful woman.
Oh, you're partial. It wouldn't be enough to load your wife with money and jewels, to insist that she be a benefactress to half the town. By the way, it's bad business letting Cornelius open up a store right across the street from you. You better take him back and let him be your partner.
Partner?
And Barnaby can have Cornelius' old job.
Now, hold on, Dolly.
And that way we can be together and dance at Ermengarde's wedding.
Now you've gone too far. I'll dance at no weddings. Besides, I don't know how, and it would take me weeks, months, years to... All right, I'll dance.
Horace, I never thought I'd hear you say a thing like that.
Well, what are you waiting for, idiot? That front room, go on.
Why, Horace Vandegelder, what is going on up there?
Oh, nothing. I just thought I'd have that front room done over in bright blue wallpaper.
Horace.
Oh, I know the old paper ain't worn out yet, but you see, that fella's just set up in business and needs a good start for himself. You see, I've always felt that money, pardon the expression, is like manure. It ain't worth a thing unless...
Thank you, Ephraim.
Hello, Dolly. Well, hello, Dolly. It's so nice to have you here where you belong. I never know, Dolly, without you. Dolly, life was awfully flat, and more than that was awfully wrong.
Here's my hat, Horace, I'm staying where I'm at. Horace, Dolly will never go away.
Wonderful woman.
Hello, Dolly. It's so nice to have you back where you belong. You're looking swell, Dolly. Me and tell, Dolly. You're still growing, you're still growing, you're still going strong. Take us someone's arms away. One, two, three, one, two, three, love and dancing.
old girl now, fellas.